What do you think would just be some like 2 or 3 solid principles that maybe most people don't know as a starting point for something like that? Like, what would be your perspective on it?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to approach that and look at it. Okay, if I have this goal out there and it's to have this home, right, and to really reclaim that American dream, like you're talking about, that is such a worthy goal, right? So that's got to really inspire. That's got to dictate a lot of action, and those actions really come down to the basics. Number one would be you got to know where your money's going, right, to get to that point. So what does that look like? That down payment to secure the land to get things going. That's your goal, whatever that number is. And then you've got to back into it and say, okay, well, here's my actual expenses that I have now. Here's that income. And how much do I need to get there? And what's that time frame going to be? So it really comes down to the budget. I mean, truly, there's a lot of great tools and resources out there, a lot of budgeting apps, a lot of ways to skin that cat, but making sure that you're actually seeing where things are going. And one of the ways that I've seen just to get things started that's been really helpful is to do a 30-day spending diary, so to speak. To say, okay, just we're not telling you to go and set the budget today and now you're following it. It's just for the next 30 days, track where your spending's going and evaluate that. And that's going to help you to develop that budget, to plug things in. But most people, what you see in that 30 days is like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know I spent whatever, $50 at Starbucks in a month. That's not something that I necessarily knew or no, I know I shouldn't be doing that kind of thing. And therefore you begin to identify some areas that are really going to help you to whittle down some expenses and push that money toward that goal. And so if you're looking at something like, a goal for a home and for land, normally you'd think about just in an operating budget, kind of what I look at as an 80-10-10 rule that I use. Right. So 10% giving off the top is what I really counsel people to do and what we practice. And then 10%, let's match that with savings. And you've got the 80% to deal with your lifestyle needs and really set that budget up. And of course, taxes are involved in that. You got to plan for all those things, right? But that 80%. But if I'm looking at something like this, that's when I begin to shift. I say, okay, on that savings piece, I want to get there quicker. So let's set a goal there. Let's set that goal at 25% in saving our income. And then backing into, well, what's it going to take to actually make that happen, to get aggressive, to be inspired by that goal. So number one is budgeting so that you can see where it's going, and then taking that goal and making those decisions about how much we're actually going to be saving to get us there the fastest that we can or within the time frame that we established. It's not about just doing it the fastest you can. Maybe you have that goal and, okay, it's going to take me 2 years. I'm doing this right now myself because we're saving, looking to move. And so upping those savings. And for me, it's looking at upping those savings, knowing as I backed into it, here's how much I know my budget will be for what I'm going to be paying on a monthly basis for the home. And I know if I can save more now than I'll be paying out on that monthly expenses for the home, not only am I going to get there faster, but I also know that I can handle that. Right. And that's one of those things a lot of times with home ownership. So we go in and we kind of have maybe a number in our mind. Maybe we want to ignore that number. And so we don't know how much it's really going to cost when we put it all together. But if I'm on this track where I'm actually saving more than it's going to cost me per month, I know that I'm to the good when I get into that home. I can feel really good about being there. And I got there quicker than I thought I was going to be.
Oh, it's just a plan.
Yeah.
And most people are just going through with zero plan, right? And then they wonder why they don't get to the destination.